As you've just been hearing, the fierce budget battle in Washington did not hinder job growth. The Labor Department reported on Friday that employers added 155,000 jobs last month, and that was slightly more than what analysts expected and a bit less than the November numbers. But even though Congress spared the country a deep fall off the fiscal cliff this week, there are now 3 other ledges on the horizon, as we've just been discussing, with a lot at stake. Joining us now is Deirdre Bolton, an anchor for Bloomberg TV, who's been covering the budget struggles. And it's nice to have you with us.
Thanks, Rebecca. Great to see you.
Good to see you as well. So this jobs report, I was on the floor of the CME group when the number came out. The guys on the floor said it doesn't look great, but at least it's in line with what we were expecting.
Well, that's exactly right. So dodging a bullet or just maintaining slow and steady growth. But you're right. It was a good report. Not a great report. We did see unemployment tick a little bit higher, rate 7.8% versus the 7.7 expected, but more jobs added, 155,000 as far as private employers. And for many people, that was actually a bright spot, saying, look, companies are continuing to hire, even though there is, quite frankly, this big mess in D.C. right now.
Yeah, and the first part of the big mess, that we've got these 3 new fiscal cliffs coming. The first one is the debt ceiling, right?
Exactly. And that's going to be the next big showdown. So in general, as you know, you've been covering this as well. I mean, you know, Democrats say we need to cut. It's a revenue problem. You know, you have Republicans saying it's a spending problem. So you really have this big push and pull. To your point, basically have 2 months to get it together. So March 1st is the next deadline.
And the last time that we went through all of this, all of a sudden our credit rating became in jeopardy and we were ultimately downgraded.
That's right. S&P did downgrade U.S. first time in 70 years. And for many in the markets, this was really a shock. I mean, you saw Wall Street react. You saw stocks sell off. And basically, the U.S.'s reputation as a financial leader was really called into question. I mean, it becomes, again, this question of confidence. Without confidence, businesses have a hard time going forward. They have a hard time hiring. They have a hard time making a decision to buy another company. So it basically is just one big monkey wrench. So the 3 credit ratings agencies right now, you have Moody's, you have Fitch, you have S&P. All of them have the U.S. on watch negative. Right. All of them have a list. Basically, here's the list of the characteristics we're looking for to avoid. And they say if Washington keeps arguing, they may be forced to act and forced to downgrade.
And they very likely will.
Yeah, and we have to say, though, that, I mean, we were downgraded last time, and because interest rates were low and because the U.S. is still seen as the best place in the world to invest, we really didn't suffer for it. The next potential crisis is what they call sequestration, which is the drastic spending cuts. When could that hit us?
Well, that could hit us really in March again. And I mean, this is the one that a lot of people are saying, this is really dangerous. You have some pretty sizable cuts, $42.5 billion non-defense, 42.5 defense. And what a lot of people have pointed out to us anyway, especially with the defense companies are spending, is that those are really high-paying jobs. Right. So if those people go into furlough and in areas like Virginia that are big military towns and those people do not have money to spend, you know, you really are going to see a trickle out, a negative trickle out into the local economies as far as what they can spend on anything else.
And you mentioned going into furlough. I mean, that's part of the issue with the final cliff, because on March 27, spending runs out, the budget runs out, people may have to not be working. There might be a government shutdown.
There might be a government shutdown. I mean, we saw this, right, 1995, 1996. President Clinton at the time did not blink. It was avoided at the 11th hour. But you did have these questions from federal employees. Am I going to get paid? Are the trains going to run on time? It was really a large, heavy black cloud.
And then it has its own economic ripple effect.
It certainly does. And getting back to this whole issue of confidence, which, as you know, anybody in the market, anybody running a business, is pretty much the only thing that counts.
Deirdre Bolton, thanks so much.
Thank you.